Imagine you built an ultimate steel M249 machine gun GBBR. Finally you can use it, it's awesome. You bought all the possible parts made of steel for it. And then while you were scrolling the offer of a web store, you find out that there are even more parts. No! Hello and welcome to 9th episode of Frog Special. Special Frog. So, there is nothing new in this episode, because we are back to the M249. Heavy one. So as you've seen from the intro, you know how it is. I built a gun, it was so epic, nice and so on. By the way, these videos are released with a big delay compared to when I record them, yeah? Because I have a big queue and I upload a video once a week. So there was a lot of those videos, right? So epic gun, whatever. And oh, steel, I bought everything I could, even like this plate or whatever, yeah? And what happened? More steel parts were released, which actually I like. I'm kind of forced to buy them and assemble them because of how I am, and for this reason I already got them. So this is a new batch, and as I said, the video is delayed compared to like the publishing date compared to when I recorded this, so maybe it's even more steel parts on the market, but let's not be so quick. Let's see what I have. Bam, 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 and bam. Okay, so looking for these parts maybe first. DNA released those guides for the charging handle and for the bolt carrier for the sides. I really like it. You will see some explanation regarding this later on. So this is the receiver part, and they also released the chamber block, which is this massive part, yeah? So I think officially this part in a real gun is called front trunnion. So the front trunnion, nice. And there are two steel latches for the top cover. Actually the aluminum ones open, and they open a lot. I replaced the rear part in the body. I will show it again in a moment. But I replaced it, and what I noticed is that these aluminum ones tend to open sometimes. So let's see, maybe these will be better. And the last are the parts for the barrel assembly. So we have a chamber here, which is another massive steel part. Really nice. And a gas cylinder block. I think I will start the assembly with those parts, so let's get them unpacked already. And in general, for this video I will be quicker than the other videos from the series, because there, you know, I already stripped the gun to the last screw and built it back again, so it's no like sense to repeat it. So I will just show you overall how it goes and what's the effect. So nice, really nice. This part in the original M249 is also like a different color. I'm not sure if this is the exact shade, but this is some distinct, very recognizable feature for the M249. So let's do it this way. I will open already this one. And as I said, I will start with the barrel. Again, these parts will be heavy, so we are increasing the weight on the M249. But to make this video quicker than the last time, I will not weight them separately. Basically, steel part is plus minus 3 times more heavy than the original aluminum part from VFC. Yeah? So it applies plus or minus the same way here. So we'll start with the barrel. The parts are already prepared. Let's put the rest aside. And here we go. So the first thing is to remove the barrel, right? So you need to put the gun off safe. It's too big to fit on the screen, but I did it, yeah? And you need to charge the charging handle. Okay. And only now I can push this tab here, and with the help of my frog, I can lift the barrel up and to the front, and it's taken out. So let's get rid of the rest. So just two parts, it should be quite quick. I have the heat cover that I need to take off, the original one. It's kind of hardcore, you see how it's scratched Now you see how it scratched the barrel, right? And yes, I remember the gas block is held here on these 3 screws, and the front barrel, yeah, it also pushes it. So I need to unscrew the barrel and remove those screws first. So let's do it. So just a hex key. I did it kind of off screen, right? You see how they went up. From previous video, this is the total weight on which the gun ended up. Okay, and the current weight with no box but with the optic is 7 kilograms. So at the end we will just cross-check what's the total weight right now, okay? Fine, so this should already be able to rotate. It is. I will figure out now this part, okay? Like, honestly, on purpose I did not Loctite this or anything, because I expected that there might be time in the future when I will replace that part, because my FrogSense said that it will sooner or later come as a tuning part, so here it is. Okay, now I think to get out this pin I will have to remove those screws like completely. Anyway, I need them because the new gas block comes with no screws, right? So 1, 2, 3, and the old one goes away. The pin. So let's find out the way to push it. Probably a hit with a hammer will get it out. There is nothing else to hold it. Yeah, it moves. Yeah, nice. So the original, the copy, the original, better than original. And now let's go back with the parts. So this has to go in there, and this cutout goes down, yeah, because you need to slide it over the barrel, it would collide otherwise. So it goes pretty nicely, you see. Here I will have, maybe I need a little help. So bam, 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 and it works. And you want this to be symmetrical, yeah, so you can measure if it's enough, or maybe you need to hit it some more. So it goes out 9 millimeters to each side, yeah, so I did it, and this cutout is quite well aligned on my side, but honestly it still blocks this hole a bit, yeah. So I'm not sure if I will be able to just put it in, or maybe I need to do some filing. Let's see. Well, in general there is a lot of resistance, I would say. Yeah, and it stops on that pin, so come on. You see how hardcore this is. It scratched the barrel a lot, yeah? And it's scratched also inside. So I need to file the pin from, you know, this side to make it pass. It's kind of okay. Let's try again. Maybe I should use some more force when working on this part. Okay, I thought it would be much easier, so it will require some force. For safety I will remove the chamber first, yeah, like not to damage anything here. The chamber and the inner barrel. So here there is these screws, there are those screws I wanted to say. Okay. And this is something I did not show in the previous video, so I might actually clarify now. Okay, if I remove this part, you remember I had these issues with the rotation of the charging handle. So here I have the original holes, so it was oriented like this, and I drilled a pair of holes to orient it like this, yeah, to move this charging, well, I said charging handle, carry handle I mean. I also said that this steel part here, because it was like a shell with only 3 ribs, it was deforming under tension due to carrying the gun, yeah, already, so I made a filler from 3D print. And I think I even published the file, so here you see how these are inserted, yeah. Actually, this part will be removed anyway, yeah, I have a replacement for it, so I can just take it away already. Depending on how well this is, let's say, broken in, you can just push it slightly or maybe hit it gently with a hammer and it's out. We can compare the two. Like, looks the same. This one is way cooler. But before I put it back, I will concentrate on that guy. So what is going on now? I'm trying to push it in with a hammer and I fail, right? You see how much I stripped of this cover, of this oxidation, whatever we call it, phosphate layer, and I really cannot push it in. So I applied some oil to make it easier, and this part is like from steel but grained, yeah? So you see, I hit with a hammer through a piece of wood and still it, let's say, wears out this graining here on top, and I don't know if you can see how shiny it becomes. But like, there is no other way to really do it. I really need to use some force here. So basically what we need to do is go back to Polish lessons and remember that bez młota to nie robota. So I need to, well, pierdolnąć, and probably I will assemble it now. So let's try again. Okay, and I did it. So it has few benefits because that oil will also protect the part against rust. This is made of steel. And I tried to align it, but you can imagine how easy it is to align something being hit by a hammer. So luckily it rotates, yeah? Probably thanks to the oil too, it rotates. So when I will put it back into the gun, I will make sure that it's in line like it should be. I wonder, probably I can just assemble the outer barrel, or maybe let's do the opposite, like I assembled the complete part. So first let's try this one. Here hammer was really not necessary. Okay, so she seems good. So now the chamber and the barrel, how it goes inside. Well, I would even say it could be a little tighter. You see it's not fully aligned here on the rear, so maybe I will just hit it to make sure, but very slightly. But it really goes all the way. Yeah, it went all the way. I like it. Okay, bam. Here we go. Bam. And now align with the holes. Like, I feel the weight of what I'm doing. Yeah, like this barrel will be a monster. Okay. Bam. Hell yeah. Bam. Hell yeah. And here I could actually Loctite those screws because I don't plan to replace steel parts for steel parts like again. But honestly, let's see, yeah, and I'm new to this, maybe I will replace it for whatever reason, like maybe not like replace, but at least remove. And here you see on the tip of the barrel I have some black tape, yeah. I use it to cancel the clearance. So this is the reason I didn't want it to assemble the barrel first and then the inner barrel, I mean outer then inner, because if I would do it then maybe it would be hard to insert this. I would be scraping the tape on these edges of the outer barrel, whatever. Yeah, so I prefer to do it like this, and now it goes in really nicely. I can nicely tighten it. And again, I will not overdo it. I will just make sure that I get some nice alignment. And like for the moment, that's it, yeah? Because again, let's see if I need to replace it. Like this weighs a ton, like that's a proper barrel for you. Yeah, it's plus minus, okay. So the screws right now, let's make some space here. Because for the alignment I need a gun. So bam, the gun comes back and I will need to switch the focus a little. Okay, this is the area we want to look at, yeah? So we take our beautiful steel barrel and we can put it in. Bam. Does it fit? No. Why? Because the gas block, which is here, is rotated to me, yeah? So this is the exact reason why I wanted to do it like this, because now I can hold it, rotate it into the proper orientation, plus minus, and see how it fits. A little better, but not fully. Okay, let's see. Okay, so the orientation here, when I look on it, it seems just fine. What is the issue is here, because you see that the lock on the barrel doesn't close, yeah? If I go to my old part, you will see how worn out it was. It was like this, yeah? So it was worn out like crazy from that lock, yeah? Oh, well, maybe not like crazy, but it was. Probably, if I like really try... Ow. I can somehow close it, but as the front trunnion was in a box, yeah, I will replace it too. I will try to, I will leave it right now, and when this part is replaced I will go back and see if it works, you know, well, and only then I will try to fix it if there was an issue, yeah. Of course these are steel parts, they are also dry, no lube whatsoever, yeah, so maybe they need to break in. Okay, let's go back here. The barrel, as I said, the gas block is positioned nicely, as we can wiggle it back a little. See the overall alignment with the gun, because still if the barrel is in the trunnion, the gas block can like rotate a little, yeah. So make sure that the top surface is basically parallel to the surface of the cover, and like, you know, it's really aligned properly with the gun, yeah. So I take a look from the front. You cannot see me, but I'm like looking from here, and I think it's quite fine. Of course you can also, you know, always fix it. So now the 3 screws, and this one is just for the pin, so nothing really to like the alignment itself, and these 2 are for the gas block. So bam, we block it. Let's tighten this one too, and we block it here, and I think it will be just fine. Like final Loctiting and so on again will come after I make sure everything's fine, because it's sometimes hard to say if everything's fine just by this kind of quick assembly, yeah? Sometimes it really needs to break in, make some fitting and so on, so we will see over time. And now the heat cover will come back, so here easily, and you see how now after this change of orientation for the carry handle here, it is, let's say, possible to assemble it, yeah. It goes next to the carry handle. Previously the carry handle was much more in this direction, and I had an issue to assemble the heat cover, so use some strength and voila. So this way I completed the first step, the gas block and this part of the chamber here, they are assembled. But anyway, to do the rest I need to take out the barrel. So okay, it went up, it went to the front. Pretty easy, yeah. There are like few scratches here and there on this steel part because of these touch conditions, let's call it, but that's fine. So again, the barrel, full steel, everything is made of steel. The heat cover original, and this carry handle enforced by the plastic. Maybe there will be a steel version in the future, who knows. But this I can put aside. And now we will be looking here, and I'll start with the top cover and replacing those locks. So right now they hold, yeah, but if one of them is pressed, it's like really easy to open this cover here. So to replace these easy, the best is to remove the cover. I will need to do it anyway in my case to replace the parts underneath. So we can basically open it. You can remove the optics if you have any, it will be easier. But the important thing is here, I already showed it once, there is that pin. This pin is held here with this hook spring feature, and if we hit it slightly it will just pop out. We can take the hook away and this pin basically just goes out. Of course you can push it, you can pull it, you know, wiggle it out. Okay, and it should be retained in the cover here with like a lock, yeah. So again, I don't need this, I need only this. And I won't be removing the optics anyway, but I'll tell you one thing, these Spectre type Chinese copies, yeah, are kind of weird for airsoft because they always look like very flat. I mean, the picture, the side picture, the crosshair position is like very flat above the barrel. That's how you have it in a real gun, because real gun shoots straight and the bullet drops, yeah. In this case, not really, yeah? We have hop up, it pulls the BB a little higher and so on and so on. So it's good to always lift them a bit. You see I have clearance here because there is a piece of sheet metal under this lock, and it lifts the scope just a bit so that I get additional range to be able to like really zero it on that particular gun. Yeah. Okay, here we concentrate our effort. So already once I kind of disassembled this area, and if I remember correctly, there is a screw under the rear side which holds this part. So I will probably need to take it out and then I would be able to disassemble it. So let's see if I'm correct. And the side is simple, just 2 screws here. I hope I did not tighten them too much. Okay, it's not so bad, I can do it. One goes out, the second goes out, yeah, and it drops. So it came out from underneath the optic anyway. And let's see, yes, I am right, there is like a screw on this side. Still no need to remove the side, doing all with it here. Like, if you do it, be careful not to scratch the lenses or anything. But you see how the parts falls. And now we have those 2 parts with a spring, so the spring has to be somehow bent so that we can unhook it. So here basically you will need to compress the spring somehow so that you can take out the part. How to do it? Let me think. Okay, I see. So the spring has these kind of flaps on the side and you need to basically unlock them. You see one is out. And now compress it in the other direction so that the other is out, then pull the spring to the back and those will go to the outside. Yeah. Okay, so you see how I do it. With this one out, I am actually able to release it, so probably now it will be easier because the spring is, let's say, half released, so you can push it back from this side and now do the same on the opposite, or maybe I can do it kind of differently. Yeah, I took it out. And it was not so bad. So here we are. Those 2 parts are released. And now my 2 beautiful steel parts. So not a big philosophy here, I guess. We just need to take them out. Okay, so first one, they are symmetrical and they are identical, you just buy 2 of them. Alright, come on. Okay, and the second one. I believe if I just do like this, that I will take them, I will try to push in the screw, so this way, the flat portion towards the top. Yeah. Sorry, not the screw but the spring. If I just push this spring like this, I think it should be automatically assembled. Yeah, I don't think it requires anything special. One side I think I did not go that well as planned, but let's try. You see the spring is on the other side. Oh, now it escaped again. So again, come on, and now. Okay, just make sure they both work. Okay, seems fine, right? They are a bit loose, so let's see how it will be after the assembly. So first this screw, or this kind of nut, goes back and it has a cutout that has to fit there. Like this, I can hold it. And here, again the screw. If you took it apart, I believe you will put it back together, right? Let's use some more force. And the parts seem to work. They are a little loose though, yeah? Let's see how it will be after this final assembly. If they lock properly, probably it can stay like this, yeah? The important would be here that they lock properly with the body, yeah? In the open state, it can be a little loose. Okay, now the side goes back and the 2 screws for the side, and this will be over really soon. The first one and the second one secured, tightened. And that's it. Those 2 steel locks are there. So we can put this aside too. Okay, so the last stage right now, and we are replacing the chamber block. Let's again unpack everything already. And here, this part, I believe it will be the biggest difference to the original, because original has the bottom made of plastic, yeah, and I see we'll need to replace the spring here, so probably it's much heavier than 3 times the original weight. Really nice part. And here we have 2 more, but actually it's 3 more. There is the guide for the charging handle, so this is how it looks. Really nice. I maybe can even improve the quality of the view. And here, this is one package, but these are 2 rails for the sides, so I'll show you in a second. Packed separately so they don't scratch on each other. Nice. So this is the first one, and this is the second one. So what you can notice, and I hope this will be a nice matching, you remember, for example, the outer barrel. Something I did not like is that this part, this here, and this part are the same brand and they have different appearance, right? So anyway, better than the aluminum. But here, what I mean is, originally this top part here is an integral part. It's welded to the this sheet metal body, right? So these screws, like fake weld points, they normally would connect those 2 parts, and they are made of the same material. Right now you can see that this is like nice grayish, yeah, and this is black because this is aluminum. It looks completely different. So what I like here is that the color should be much better if I replace it, yeah, but we'll see in practice. Here this will be a lot more effort than in the previous phases to exchange those 4 parts. Maybe I can put them here. And I don't want to disassemble this part, though I think it should be possible without touching it, yeah, because there is this conversion, banded hose, all of this. I don't want to fight with it again. But we will do some field strip again. So let's do it the right way. First, the bolt carrier will have to go out. So the pin here. And theoretically you can remove the spring guide from this position, but I will release the slide. And now it will be just a bit easier. I need to take out the slide also, or the bolt carrier group. And I don't probably need to remove the complete stock, but honestly I'm not sure, so for the moment I will leave it. Here, the gas cylinder. Sits there always pretty tightly. Okay, I always need some help to remove it. Okay, and the bipod can go away, and immediately it will be easier to handle, right? So let's maybe put it this way. Let's see if it's gonna stay. Yes, perfect. Okay, so as I said, I would prefer to not touch this part. So for removing this one, it's kind of easy. I will have to remove this screw and the feeding tray here, plus the screws on this side, on the other side, and I should be able to take this out. Let's see if I'm right. Okay, with tiny screw can be put aside. Now these. Okay, they go out pretty easily. Okay, on this side it was behind the charging handle guide. I forgot about this. So let's leave it for a second, and we need to concentrate on these parts and that guide. So the first step is to remove those screws. One, and of course they come off with my clips, right? So 2, 3, and number 4. And from what I remember, let's see how the guide looks like. If this is the one, yeah, I think so. So exactly, you see, you also need to remove the pin, and you just need to wiggle it. You can punch it out a little because there is this locking part inside, but it should be possible to remove it by hand if you pull a little harder, right? Okay, so the rail is moving, so it will be possible to take it out when I remove this part. And now the other rail is held by 4 screws, which are, as you remember, we access them like this way, so through these original holes, and we can get here. One here in the front, one here at the rear, 3 small ones, and the last one is on this side. And also here there is a tiny screw, if you remember, so I will need to punch out those pins. Okay, so the first pin. Okay, the second pin, I will use them anyway for the steel part, right? So they are needed. Okay, the tiny screw comes out, and the whole guide with the charging handle comes out. So you see there is a lot of these screws and everything, just like the previous time. I will need to organize a bit better my space, my working space next time. So this guide can be thrown out, and I already replaced the charging handle for steel, so it stays. Now I should be able to remove these 2 screws. They became uncovered, so bam, and bam, the second one. So let's see. Yes, I was able to take this out. And underneath there is that plastic thing I spoke about. Yeah, so this plastic thing has a spring. We need to replace this lever anyway, so these we will be using. And now those guides finally. So if you pull it, yeah, you are able to take this one out, and this will not be needed anymore. Here, check this out. It also could be much heavier because it has some material savers, and right now I won't have them. Additionally, it has this part here that was used for this arm that was moving the ammo belt, which I don't want to use, like the ammo belt, but if I already have such a part I can replace it, otherwise I'll lose it or something. Maybe let's replace it. So it will wait just for a moment. For the sake, let's say, of the video, I'll show how you replace it too. And now the last of the guides. I expect it should be also possible to just pull it to the back and kind of remove it. Ah, okay, I remember now. This one is the one connected to the... Ah yeah, I remember now. This is the one connected to the shell ejector. So this will be a little more complicated. How we do it? So I figured it out. It's doable, yeah? There is the axis for that shell ejector here, so I can pull it out, and probably everything will be just released. Exactly. Worse will be to put it back together. I think I will have to remove that part, but okay. Step after step. So the guide is out. And the receiver I can put aside for a second. So you see that basically I had to disassemble almost complete receiver anyway, right? Let's prepare these 2 parts first, and then we will start reassembly. So for this one, 2 screws, and for this one here is also like 1 screw. This is the feature I'm not gonna use, but also for the sake of the video, maybe I'll see something interesting. Somebody can have some information from it if he wants to replace the part. Okay, so these 2 screws are taken out, and this part can be lifted off, so this is not needed. Now this one. And remember that if you have trouble to remove these screws, they use Loctite, yeah, sometimes they use too much, so I'm having trouble with this one, and I will use a heat gun to warm it up because I think it's Loctited. And I'm gonna heat the metal side so that I don't damage the plastic so easily. Okay, so it's quite hot, I have to be careful here. And after heating it up I was able to remove it, and you see it's Loctite, like covered with Loctite, right? So anyway, this. Alright, so for the guides now, this is the last one I disassembled, so here just the screw, and I will put a bit of Loctite back myself, but I'm using a weak one, so just a bit. There is this plastic part, I might need to remove it one day, right? Okay, let's see if it moves. There is a bit of friction, but it will be fine. And now this one, so the screws will go from this side, and here similarly, and it should be of course pinned up, otherwise you will not be able to mount it. It's pretty dirty, I will clean it up. Okay, and it has to be hidden, yeah, so it has to go deep. And now this part and those equivalents. So here we need to remove that spring, and I see there is a screw here in a corner. Okay, this is a plastic tapping screw. This I don't need anymore, so probably we won't use it. Probably this part will just go in, but this is pretty dirty, right, from some oil, which is obviously nice because steel part doesn't rust, but I'm gonna clean it with my oil a little. Okay, so I have my gun oil, and I'm gonna, you know, wash it a little to remove this one. This is a really nice heavy steel stinking part. I really like it. Here there is no screw, so how should I put it in? Like this, and that's all? I guess so. Anyway, if we will put it in the receiver, it will not fall out, right? There will be no place for it to fall out. But when I try it, it's a little interesting. If it will fit for sure or not, we will see, because... But here it's sticking out a little, yeah, but this corner is in general round because the receiver is round. This is steel wire, maybe it will fit somehow when I try to put it in the gun. But it will fall out right now, so let's put it aside. This will actually be the last part that comes in, right? Okay, so now this one. It doesn't have any more parts, only the lever, so the pin is there. I believe I need to just punch it. And I'm probably right, it went quite easily. Of course there would be some spring trapped inside. Okay, so if you pull it, you will just remove it, yes, and the spring was there. So the parts came out, this is not needed anymore, we can quickly compare those two. Okay, nice. And the pin had this conical face towards the arm, so the arm would be like here, so the pin would be with conical face there, so I need to insert it from this side. The question how the spring goes, I see it's bended like this. I think it should be, let me think for a second. Okay, so here the long end will go towards the steel block, yeah, because if I rotate it, it will be too short to catch. And the arm will go on top of it. So let's figure out how to put it together nicely. So the first step would be to catch this slightly with the pin, and now maybe I could somehow push it in from this side. Probably yes, but I won't do it under camera again. It's too complicated, I believe. Okay, so I believe you have to put in the spring here, so the short one here, the long one here, compress it, and then put it in and pin it, which will be very, very difficult, but probably that's the only way. Let's see how I handle it. Because this spring is kind of strong. Maybe for compressing alone it will be good to have it on an axis. Okay, so I have it. Now I need to compress it. Oh yes. But now to remove this axis is another problem. Okay, I took it out. It's hard, but I think I will do it. So now from that side. Okay, I helped myself a little. It went almost completely in. And yes, voila. Here we are. Pretty tricky but doable. We can also check how it works with the barrel. Pretty nice. Using the opportunity, this is all at disassemble. You can of course clean up the parts, which I already did. And now let's reassemble it. I would really not like to disassemble this part. Let's see if it's possible somehow. So we already have a first issue, so the screw that holds this, right, is too long and it goes out on the other side and it blocks the position, right? So I will file it off. But I will file it disassembled. And again I will need to reapply the Loctite. Alright, put it back in. Okay, I thought about this and I won't figure this out, so we are removing that part. There are two screws here. So we are basically taking them out. It's a big rebuild, as you see. And in my case, this will not fully go out because this hose is attached here, right? So it will like hang here, and hopefully I should have enough space to really make what I want. And the most tricky part is obviously hidden behind all of this, is the spring here and the shell ejector cover. So the cover has to go from the outside. Probably it will not be visible under camera, you know. I will do it off screen and show assembled because it's a nightmare. Okay, and so I did it. The rail is there. It's already secured with one screw with this guide for the charging handle, because what I don't like, let's say, is that this spring here is very weak, yeah? And to make this kind of like nice spring back effect, you need to rotate it, not like just put it in neutral position, but make one more twist, and assembling it is a disaster, but somehow I did it. So now I need to push this part in back. Hopefully it will go without disassembly of the conversion and everything. Okay. And the same way I need to screw it in there, yeah, but it's again not accessible normally, so off screen. Okay, I can't believe it, but I did it. Okay, it's screwed, everything fits. There is some like a gap here, but maybe it will disappear in a moment when I put all the parts in. So now I'm doing this guide, and it goes also like to the rear. Okay, and I should be somehow able to slide it. Yeah, I was able. It's pretty nice. Okay, and let me think, because so this part there is fitting between them, so maybe I should not screw in place everything. Maybe I should also put this one in, and only then when everything is in place make the final screwing. So this one is prepared. Let's leave it. It fits quite tightly. Okay, so I attached the rail, but unfortunately I will have to take it out again in a second because I covered this screw point, right? I did not want my spring for the shell ejector cover to, you know, be loose, and I screwed it, so I will fix it in a second. But this means that this part has to go in now. Okay, so in this orientation we are going to take the spring. Probably you could use some glue to keep it in place if you have troubles with it falling out. Let's see how it goes in my case. Yeah, it will fall out. I either need to do it upside down or just right now apply that bit of glue here just to hold it temporarily. Yeah. Okay, it stays in place. Now squeeze it here. Okay, and also there is this pin for the spring here, so you need to go for the shell ejector. So you need to go before this pin, in front of it. And in front of it you cannot, because there is the pin from the rail. Yeah, so before I put it this in, the rail has to go out. It's crazy. I need to disassemble it almost completely. So who would have thought that I will have to strip this all over again, right? So one screw, second screw. Okay. Of course I can clean it if I'm here already, but let's see. So again, the block here. Now it sits nicely. Okay, it caught the pin, it went all the way in to the guides, and then I can push it even more till it reaches this part. So if I put it this way, you see I have access here now. Perfect. So to catch it, let's do those screws quickly. And I will not tighten them all the way immediately because, again, fitting. Yeah, I will first put everything together, also with the barrel, and only then try to assemble it, like, you know, make it tight all the way. So here, okay, a little loose. And on this side I need to undo the rail again, so luckily this is held by this block now and here, so if I remove that one screw I screwed in already, it should not be a disaster. Let's see. I think this was this one, yes. To be sure I will hold it with my hand. Okay, it seems fine. Unfortunately I won't have the access here when I think about this now, later on. So maybe this one will be tightened all the way in, yeah, this one that is covered by charging handle rail, yeah, this one at least. And now, still before it falls apart, maybe it won't, but I will tighten this screw because I lost a lot of time on trying to assemble it, and I would be unhappy if I had to do it all over again. So okay, and now back here, one screw, again not too tight, and obviously I will not be able to put the charging handle in curva right now. Okay, and I forgot that charging handle will not go in right now, so this screw out again. Charging handle in, lubing will come later. Okay, and only now. Perfect, finally. This tiny screw with some Loctite. Well, this is funny because it doesn't catch at all. Like, there is the hole, but it doesn't do anything. I wonder. Like, honestly, so I got myself a longer one. This is also a conical screw M2.5 and this one fits, right? So this went nicely in. For some reason the original one is too short. Okay, whatever. So for now, those pins, 2 pins, maybe later, okay? I want to finish here first with those parts. So now if the rail is kind of okay, the remaining screws. So maybe you remember, 3 from the inside and 1 from the outside. Okay, so my screws are in, all 4, but they are not tightened yet because there's one more important thing, which is the pin. This pin goes through all the parts, so it goes through the end of the body here of the receiver, it goes through the bottom sheet metal, top rail, same on the other side, and the stock. We must make sure that it will actually go through, right? So that everything here will fit when you close it. So I will close it, the pin will go through, and for now I do it without the stock, because I don't know if you remember from my previous video, the stock was not going in the rails originally, and I had to file them this way, and I see I will have to do exact same thing here later. But I will do it later off screen, because I want a good fitting for the stock, so I want to have everything assembled, screwed in and so on, because if I do it, you know, outside of the gun, I will overdo it and the stock will be loose. Okay, so the pin is in and now I can tighten my screws completely. So let's start from this one and the internal ones. 1, 2 and 3. Okay, seems we are moving forward finally. So now let's put the rail back. There is nothing new here, I already did it on camera, so we fit the pins to the side holes for both halves and then the screws. The rail fits nicely. Now this side. Attaching the hose and the wire. So 2 clips. First one. Okay, the second one. Finally, this is getting to an end. Okay, and the rear one. First will be this one, and the second and the last is this one. Okay, done. Oh, this was hard. Okay, so before we finish all these tightening ups and so on, let's just see if the bolt carrier fits okay to the rails. So we put it in. Charging handle should go to the front. This is just to make sure we did not do any mistake. Pull the trigger. Okay. Well, just fine. Okay, so before I fix the stock topic, I will put in the parts on the front also to, you know, already have it done. So check the fitting, you know. So the pipe with the bipod. Okay, it was a bit of struggle, but I pushed it. The gas cylinder with the bipod. Okay, still I want to finish this one. This seems fine, maybe small fix will be needed when I put in the top cover. Okay, so the last thing before I tighten everything is the barrel. So let's see how it fits. I would say perfectly. Really, like perfectly. Okay, so these other screws I can tighten. As we remember, there was one here, two here, and it's done. Before I put the top cover, I'm gonna fix the stock, right? And for this, obviously, I don't put in the bolt carrier yet, so for now, a little filing off screen and putting everything back together, and we're done. Okay, so I did it. Let's have a quick look. You see that the stock can be closed now, or you don't. See that the stock can be closed now. There is some resistance, nice, yeah. And what I did is kind of basic. If you look there inside here, I just filed it off on both sides a bit. This width here of the stock was 32 millimeters, so I did 31.6 gap, I think, and it fits kind of snug. Yeah. So what is left is just to put everything back in, and I did not finish the charging handle. Here those pins, as you remember, and I actually already tried and I found out funny thing. If I put in the pin, there is no retention at all, yeah, it's like completely loose. So I need to, because these are those cut through pins, I don't know how you call it, yeah, roll pin, I guess. So I need to put something in here in this groove or in this slot where this is rolled, and try to push it away so that it actually has some retention, because it makes no sense if I just put it here, it falls out, yeah, it just fell out. So I did exactly like I said. I took a flat screwdriver and I jammed it into both pins into this slot, and I, you know, chose the screwdriver to be so big that it's pushing this open. I jammed it a few times along the whole length, and now if I put in the pin, I cannot press it with my fingers, yeah, so this is exactly how I want this. So both pins will go back to their place, and one of them is already scratched from the charging handle lock, so I'll put them in the same positions, let's say. So this is the first one. Nicely. And then the second one. So you remember maybe from my other videos, this plastic part was not fitting to the charging handle, so I just have those pins, and this is kind of, you know, now it fits. I can lock the charging handle, everything's fine, but I don't trust this kind of solutions, so I will apply some glue into the pins, right? And you see, it's fine. So what is left now is the top cover and then the internal parts. With the top cover, extremely simple. Just remember to hook the spring into a hole here. Okay, and when you have it, then line the holes and just press the pin in. You can punch it a bit so that it reaches the final position, and it springs a little, yeah, with the optic on. It's too heavy, so it doesn't spring like without it. But we can also test the locking, right? We replaced it earlier, so you can just push it and it's nicely locked, no issue here. And now, break away the stock, so to say. Let's move the gun a little. Using the opportunity, of course, we have to relube everything. So the bolt carrier should be relubed. You can look around where it's worn, yeah. This means that this area is at friction and it needs some lube, right? So for this I used Teflon one a lot, and I will also use some oil later on. If you're like me and you did not remove the trigger group, then you will have to, of course, pull the trigger to push it all the way in. Of course, it has to be off safe. Okay, and the spring, and now the return spring, not this excess that I see flying around here. I can put on the spring, throw in some more, and the regular way. So There you go. Alright. I have some retention on the stock, as you've seen. It's closing but not so easy, and I will have to use a hammer to close this pin. Over time it will break in. But it went all the way in, so this is also good. Let's check if everything's fine here. Okay, there is no gas tank, nothing will happen. Let's test the trigger. All good. And now the oil on the guides, in the guide for the charging handle. I'm gonna do a lot because this is very dry. It's the first time I'll be shooting it, so I'll do it off screen again, and then I recommend you test how it shoots, obviously, before you go to a game or something, because it can happen that you did something incorrectly and it will not be fully functional. So I will make sure that everything's good and the gun will be ready to use. So the weight check now. Here we go. Just like the previous time, complete gun with optic but no box. Let's see. Previously it was 7 kilograms, so there is an increase, although I thought it would be a little bigger, yeah? So 0.7 kilogram, almost 1 kilogram. And here is the complete machine gun. So you see now steel parts here. Actually, the only two steel parts that are not in the gun, and I think they should be made of steel right now, are the feeding tray here and this Stanag magwell. Yeah, they are both aluminum, they are both original. The whole rest, from what I know, from what should be made of steel, is already made of steel. So looks really nice. And this shade here between the guide, much more similar to the receiver. Yeah, normally it would be welded together, two steel parts. Previously it was like plain black, and this was this kind of steel appearance. Now it looks a lot better. And one more shot from this side. That's something. It's massive, it's heavy, and obviously let's do a close-up here. Very nice color of the gas block, very nice. I think much better than the original black one. So this is the end of the story of the M249 on this channel for the moment. There's nothing left to do, or maybe. Okay, so you've seen the whole series about the M249 and the steel parts. I would say it's a full steel machine gun for now, because there are no more parts to buy even, and I don't even think that there is something else apart those two parts I showed that should be. Thank you for watching the series, but I have a special guest here with me today who actually spent the most time using this gun in its current version. So this is an anonymous operator. So hello, can you tell us something about yourself?
Hello, machine gun.
Okay, and how do you like it? Let's catch it in the frame.
Yeah, this is the best airsoft guns I ever had.
Okay, and how was it with all the steel parts and so on? Extremely heavy, cumbersome. How was it to use it for like 20 plus hours on a Milsim event?
My hand is really hard, but I'm satisfied with that.
And does it kill the enemies?
Yeah, I never had guns that deliver so much fun as this gun.
Okay, this sounds like a good advertisement, so guys, make yourself a realistic steel M249. Any last words? Thank you for the interview, and let's see you in the bush.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Bye.